G'day, it's Thomas here from Paradise, Christchurch, New Zealand. Today, from my collection of engines, we're going to run a V-twin petrol gasoline and another V-twin gasoline and a 90 degrees vacuum engine. So it's the battle of the V-twins today on Thomas PC Guru Engines. Stick with me. First of all, we're going to run this vacuum engine because it runs stably and steadily, and once it's running, it runs a lot better than these two petrol engines. So to run this vacuum engine, I'm going to preheat it, and then I'm going to use methylated spirits, clear methylated spirits if I can find some. Let's get it going. Some tips I would suggest for vacuum engines, particularly those from China, is that they will, as I say, they will need to be preheated to be started properly, otherwise you're going to get condensation in here. And they after stopping the engine, you should turn that over a few times to get rid of any leftover meths or combustion gas, which contains a little bit of water and which will lock up the pistons a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start preheating this now. I'm using fiberglass wicks, which are much easier to deal with and work better than hemp string wicks. Okay, lubrication, we're going to use graphite dust. So just going to sprinkle a little bit of this graphite dust into each cylinder. You can see the cylinder there. And take the piston down all the way and just drop like that. Same with this side. Drop it in there. Too much. A little bit on the face and in the mechanism. Right, that's really good. Let's heat that back up. Okay, so as you probably suspect, the speed of this depends on the size of the flames and the proximity to the input here. Now that's slow for this engine. I can get it running much faster. Possibly will start to run a bit faster as that Now this motor has got a bunch of computer heat sinks on it. We've got the big one around the front and the ones on the top and a big one on the back. Now I was very careful with the valves. Very careful to get that kind of popping noise from the valves. They've got to be pressing against the face at just the right amount. So this engine will run quite happily for about a half an hour. I can run it slower or faster as I wish. And if I make the flames a bit bigger, we will get a better speed out of it. we do have, we are in the wind a bit here, and that's affecting things. Okay, it's away, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a look at this engine a bit closer. Just going to pick you guys up for a second. Okay, just going to light those again. Which one's on? That one's on. That one's on. They're both on, so let's just try that again. Right, now we're going to try and get one of these other engines running. I'm just going to push this to one side. The other thing that I've done when putting on these heat sinks was use a little bit of heat sink grease, and obviously I've also taken this engine apart and made sure that every single surface that is supposed to be as low friction as possible has been filed with a cross cut finishing file. We're going to try and get this little engine from Jin at Microcosm going. This was his first engine that was a V-twin. He's got a much more accurate knucklehead V-twin at the moment, but this has an interesting throttle. You pull up for the throttle. It's got a choke that you rotate like that, and it's got a float chamber right here that doesn't have a top on it, and I'm not particularly in love with that float chamber, but it's okay. I'm going to put in a little bit of oil before I start. Here's the oil in. You can hear that vacuum engine going nuts. We're going to put a bit of oil in there. And we want to just try and get that oil onto the cams. So I'm going to leave that upside down for a little bit. Right, I'm just going to try and clean these spark plugs first, because that always helps with this wee engine. Okay, let's have a look at those. They are not bad, are they? They're pretty tidy. I'm going to put them straight back in. This is nearly run out of mets. So we're going to blow out the flames, and like I say, we need to turn that a few times, get some cool air into it. I've been advised to use lighter fluid because it's clean burning, but of course we're sticking oil in it anyway, so I don't know how much difference it would make. Okay, so that is the float there. Generally speaking, that slowly does fill up with petrol. This is the throttle. I'm not sure if and where there is another needle, but that's the throttle there. We need a little bit of choke. You can adjust the throttle by turning that out. So I'm going to turn that out a bit now. Throttle's up a bit, and we're going to try and start this motor. Ignition on. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, did you hear it starting there? I heard it firing. Too much choke. Let's turn it the wrong way. Maybe not enough choke. Let's try that again. This is a little bit typical of what I find is happening with this motor. It's hard to start, and it's hard to keep running, and it's hard to tune. So we will just try that again. I'm just going to move the camera slightly. Well, there you go, folks. We have it. It's definitely working. That took a lot of getting going. much harder to get going than the vacuum engine. And the float seems to be working properly now. Okay, oh yeah, it's just running out. Just starting to run out. So this engine is the 9cc V-twin by Cison. It's about, maybe it's about a year old. We're now going to try the Cison V-twin. This is the one where I have made a base for it. I have also created a sort of a air filter thing. This round thing looks great on there. That's from a toilet roll holder, and obviously the base, the switch, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been experimenting with a different fuel tank for this. Now ideally this wouldn't be vertical like this because it stuffs up your you know, how much fuel pressure you've got into the carburetor. But let's see if we can get this one going. Now I believe this one has enough oil in it. I put some oil in the crankcase when I finished. So I'm just going to basically rip into this one and see if I can get it going. Oh my goodness me. That fuel's not going to suck up into the carburetor, so I might as well empty that out. And that's why this fuel tank is not good enough. Notice we've got a lot of oil coming out of the engine. That's fine, I guess. You can see the oil there. As you can see, the this is not perfect. It's not running slow, and there is explosion coming out of this. So we might try changing the timing of the valves, see if that helps. Yeah. Tricky. Well, look, thanks for watching today.